Have you ever found yourself in a sea of people looking around wondering how you could stand out, how you could connect meaningfully with someone in this hyper-connected yet emotionally distant world? You're not alone in this quest. Today I invite you to explore with me a different path, one that challenges the conventions of modern seduction and leads you to a place of deep understanding, authentic connection, and yes, seduction, but not as commonly understood. Today we talk about seducing with wisdom through Stoicism. In our society, seduction is often misunderstood as the art of winning someone's affection by any means necessary. Images of grand gestures, psychological games, and a constant battle of wits flood our thoughts when we think about how to attract someone. But what if I told you there's a deeper, more authentic way to create connections? A way that doesn't require you to compromise who you are, but asks you to dive deeper into your own essence. That's the promise of Stoicism applied to seduction. So, what then is Stoic seduction? It's not about techniques or strategies. It's about being such a solid, serene presence that your mere existence becomes a magnet for those seeking depth and meaning in their relationships. Imagine being able to walk into any room, not with arrogance but with quiet confidence, knowing that you don't need validation from anyone because you're completely at peace with yourself. This is the essence of Stoic seduction, an attraction born out of authenticity, integrity, and self-mastery. And with all that explained, we can begin with the advice. When we contemplate the vast landscape of seduction and interpersonal relationships through the lens of Stoicism, the first thing we notice is an invitation to look inward, to know and master our own being before seeking to connect with another. But how does this translate into the art of seduction? How can we, armed with Stoic wisdom, navigate the often turbulent waters of human relationships? The answer, surprisingly, lies in the tranquility of our own minds and the strength of our character. At the heart of Stoicism lies the belief that our greatest power resides in our ability to control our perceptions, actions, and responses to the external world. Applied to seduction, this means a radical reorientation of our focus. Instead of seeking to manipulate others' perceptions or conform to what we believe they desire, we focus on cultivating an authentic and magnetic presence that naturally attracts those who will resonate with our true essence. Imagine for a moment you're in a social situation, surrounded by people who could potentially interest you. Instead of deploying a series of learned tactics to capture their attention, you choose to remain centered in your being, maintaining stoic calm and genuine curiosity about others. You actively listen, respond with empathy, and express yourself with honesty and clarity. This approach, deeply rooted in Stoic principles, not only sets you apart from the rest but also establishes a solid foundation for authentic and meaningful connections. But how can we develop this inner strength and tranquility of spirit in a world that constantly tries to pull us into chaos and shallowness? Stoic practice offers powerful tools for this purpose. Daily reflection, examination of our own perceptions and reactions, and commitment to living virtuously become the pillars upon which we build our Stoic presence. By applying these practices to our lives, we not only become more attractive in the eyes of others, but also find greater peace and satisfaction within ourselves. The true beauty of this Stoic approach to seduction lies in its simplicity and depth. You don't need to memorize lines or pretend to be someone you're not. All that's required is a commitment to yourself, to your growth, and your well-being. By focusing on being the best version of yourself, on living with integrity, control, and serenity, you naturally attract those who value and seek the same. This is seduction in its purest and most powerful form, a connection that arises from the congruence between who you are and how you live. Of course, adopting this Stoic approach to seduction doesn't mean the path will always be easy or that every interaction will turn out as expected. Part of Stoic wisdom is recognizing that we cannot control outcomes, only our actions and attitudes. By accepting this, we free ourselves from anxiety over rejection or failure and open ourselves to the true beauty of human interactions, the possibility of connecting authentically and meaningfully, without expectations or attachments. In summary, seduction, viewed through the prism of Stoicism, becomes a much deeper and enriching art. It's not a game of power, or a superficial exchange, but rather an authentic expression of who you are and a genuine desire to connect with others on a deeper level. By cultivating inner strength, tranquility, and integrity that Stoicism promotes, you not only become more attractive in the eyes of others, but also elevate the quality of your interactions and relationships. This approach transforms seduction from an act of conquest to one of self-discovery and genuine connection. This Stoic path to seduction requires patience, practice, and above all, deep honesty with yourself. It requires you to look inward, to examine your motivations, fears, and desires. It invites you to ask not only how you can attract others, but also what kind of people you want to attract and what kind of relationships you want to cultivate. In doing so, you move away from superficiality and toward a space of greater authenticity and depth. And here lies the magic of seducing with Stoic wisdom. By focusing on your personal growth, on living according to your values, and on developing a serene and powerful presence, you naturally attract those who resonate with your authenticity. Seduction ceases to be an external game and becomes a reflection of your inner journey toward virtue and self-acceptance. It's at this point where seduction and Stoicism intertwine perfectly, offering a path to more meaningful and enriching relationships. Adopting Stoicism in your approach to seduction also equips you to better handle setbacks and challenges that inevitably arise on the path to human connection. Instead of being swept away by frustration or despair at rejection or disinterest, you remain steadfast, centered, and calm. You recognize that every experience, whether positive or negative, is an opportunity to learn, grow, and deepen your understanding of the art of living. Finally, by embracing Stoic wisdom in your pursuit of seduction, you find yourself navigating life with an internal compass guided by virtue, self-acceptance, and inner peace. This not only makes you infinitely more attractive in the eyes of those seeking a real connection, but also leads you to discover a deeper satisfaction in your relationships and life in general. Therefore, I invite you to consider this Stoic approach to seduction not as a set of tactics or strategies, but as a path to a richer and more meaningful life. By focusing on being a virtuous, and serenely powerful person, you not only change the way you relate to others, but also transform the way you relate to yourself. And it is in this change where you will find the true essence of seducing with wisdom. Now that we've explored how Stoicism invites us to look inward and cultivate an authentic and magnetic presence, it's time to delve into how this approach transforms our interactions and the dynamics of seduction. Stoicism, with its emphasis on controlling our emotions and reactions, teaches us that true seduction begins with self-improvement and acceptance, not with manipulation or seeking external approval. In a world where image and perception are often valued more than substance, Stoicism offers a refuge of authenticity and depth. Instead of striving to be what we think others want us to be, we strive to be the best we can be. This is no small task. It requires daily commitment to Stoic practice, dedication to living according to our highest principles, and a willingness to confront and transform our weaknesses. The Stoic practice of daily reflection becomes an invaluable tool in this process. At the end of each day, we take a moment to reflect on our interactions, decisions, and emotional responses. Did we act with integrity and virtue? How can we improve in the future? This practice not only helps us grow as individuals, but also enhances the quality of our relationships, making our seduction more authentic and based on true connection. Another central concept of Stoicism that deeply influences seduction is the idea that we should focus on what we can control and accept what we cannot. In the context of relationships, this means freeing ourselves from anxiety over acceptance and fear of rejection. By accepting that we cannot control others' feelings or actions, we free ourselves to act more naturally and authentically, which paradoxically makes us more attractive. The Stoic virtue of temperance teaches us to find the right balance in our interactions. Instead of being swept away by unrestrained desire or blind passion, we seek a balanced and thoughtful approach to seduction. This approach is not only more sustainable in the long run, but also allows us to build more meaningful and lasting relationships. Courage, another Stoic virtue, urges us to be bold in our authenticity. to express our true feelings and thoughts, even when it may be intimidating. In doing so, we not only show our inner strength, but also invite others to be equally open and authentic. This shared vulnerability is the foundation of the deepest and most meaningful human connections. Finally, Stoic justice reminds us of the importance of treating others with respect, dignity, and compassion. In seduction, this means seeking connections that are not only gratifying for us, but also enrich the other person's life. By adopting this approach, our interactions become more rewarding and ethical, based on mutual respect and a genuine desire to positively contribute to others' lives. In summary, Stoicism teaches us that the most powerful seduction arises from a life lived with integrity, balance, and respect, both for ourselves and others. By focusing on our own self-improvement and adhering to our principles, we naturally attract those who value depth, authenticity, and genuine connection. This is the art of seducing with Stoic wisdom, a dance between being true to oneself and opening up to others, creating relationships that are both deep and enduring. This approach to seduction transcends superficial games and manipulative strategies, inviting us instead to cultivate relationships based on mutual respect, empathy, and a genuine understanding of others. By integrating Stoic principles into our daily lives, we not only become beacons of serenity and strength in an often chaotic world, but also establish more meaningful connections. Each interaction becomes an opportunity to practice virtue, to demonstrate our authenticity, and to invite others to share their true selves with us. This creates a virtuous cycle of mutual growth and deep understanding, where seduction becomes an expression of our shared humanity and not simply a means to personal ends. The Stoic wisdom, with its emphasis on self-awareness, self-regulation, and compassion, guides us toward a form of seduction that is both internal and external. Internally, it challenges us to be the best version of ourselves, to live with purpose, and to seek inner peace. Externally, it impels us to interact with others in a way that reflects these internal values, thus creating a bridge between our inner world and the external world. This bridge is where true seduction occurs. It's not about a fleeting moment of attraction, but a constant invitation to engage in a journey of mutual growth and discovery. It's a seduction that doesn't seek to possess or control, but celebrates the freedom and individuality of each person, fostering a space where everyone can authentically be themselves. In the end, Stoicism teaches us that the most authentic and enduring seduction is one that arises from a commitment to virtuous living. It's not a tool to get what we want from others, but a way of life that inherently makes us attractive to those whose lives will resonate with ours. It's a reminder that in the pursuit of true connections, what matters most is not how others perceive us, but how we perceive ourselves and how we choose to live our lives. Therefore, seducing with Stoic wisdom not only enriches our interpersonal relationships, but also enriches us internally, offering us a way to navigate the world that is in harmony with our deepest values and aspirations. It invites us to look beyond the surface, to value depth, and to build connections that are as authentic and resilient as we are. So, as we journey through life, let us carry with us the lessons of Stoicism, not only as a guide to seduction, but as a philosophy for living fully and meaningfully. In the process, we will discover that the deepest seduction is, in fact, the seduction of living authentically, inviting others to share in the beauty of that authenticity. And it is in this sharing where we find the truest connections, those that withstand the test of time and transform us in ways we can scarcely begin to imagine. In essence, the journey of seduction with Stoic wisdom is a journey of self-discovery and growth, a journey that leads us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and others. It is a journey that ultimately leads to a life lived with purpose and authenticity, where every interaction becomes an opportunity for connection and enrichment. So, let us embrace this journey wholeheartedly, with courage and conviction, knowing that the rewards are not just fleeting moments of attraction, but enduring connections that nourish the soul and enrich the spirit. This is the promise of seducing with Stoic wisdom, a path to a life of depth, meaning, and fulfillment.